The first episode of the Glow Up Girls podcast. I am so excited to be here today to talk to you about how you can improve your self-love this year. So this is actually my first time putting out a podcast episode, and I want to actually start off by discussing how I got to this position. I feel like in a lot of self-improvement content we consume, we don't really see much of the background of the creator and where they came from and how and why they decided to start their podcast in the first place. So hello, my name is Tanny. I am currently 15 years old and am ethnically Indian but grew up in the US. I think my happiest time was in 6th grade, where I was able to have a lot of positive experiences and social interactions, and then COVID hit. And you can probably already guess where this is going, but I ended up developing major social anxiety disorder, and it really affected me to the point where I wasn't able to leave my house, and it made it so hard for me to talk to people, and even people that I knew well. And it was definitely a struggle in school too. And this honestly affected me from 7th grade and is something that I am proud to say that I have healed from immensely. I was lucky enough to have been introduced to the concept of self-improvement in late 8th grade, and since then, I have written to the President of the United States on the issues of gun violence in America. I started my very own Pinterest account on self-development, and have been absolutely thriving in school socially and academically, having earned a 4.3 GPA last year. I'm currently working on finding out ways our school can donate leftover food to a local hunger relief organization. Now, how was I able to change my life in the span of a year, from not being able to leave my house to starting my own podcast on self-love at 15 years old, and accomplish all these things? If you're looking for ways to change your life in 2024, then listen up. I'm going to be discussing the most important habits I implemented into my life that helped me throughout 2023 to today to level up my life. Now, the first and the most important thing is your mindset. I cannot stress this enough, but your happiness is based off of your mindset and how you choose to view things. When you start nurturing your thoughts, the game will change. Your thoughts influence your speech and actions and basically help you develop who you'll become. So I heard this quote a while ago, and it's hurt people, and you may have actually heard of this before. It basically means that if you're hurt, you're gonna hurt others as well. And the saying is very prevalent in this day and age, especially with the rise of social media, where this word was invented: cringe. The biggest sign that you are insecure in yourself is if you believe in the word cringe. If other people are cringy, then they'll be seen as weird and degrading. If they're filming themselves in public and have a YouTube channel, then people will get secondhand embarrassment from that. And I don't think many people realize this, but the way you respond to these scenarios reflects a lot about who you are and how much confidence you have in yourself. I want you to actually pause the podcast right now and really think for yourself. Am I someone who would judge others for being openly comfortable in public and authentically expressing themselves? This is what a lot of us struggle with, and here's the truth. If you're unhappy with yourself, even just a little bit insecure, other people enjoying themselves carelessly is going to affect you. Okay, now I'm going to bring back the quote. Hurt people. Think of a truly happy person. They would be so enthralled in their own life that they wouldn't feel the need to criticize others. And I don't think you even realize this. People are judging others for the stupidest things. I saw someone on YouTube Shorts the other day who was showing off their hair and the length, and they were clearly very happy and proud of themselves for being able to grow it so long. And unfortunately, the video's algorithm reached a sea of unhappy people who started making fun of her dead ends. The reason why I'm discussing this is because this exact problem, what I'm describing right now, used to be me. And I'll get further into this in another podcast episode. But the people that I would hang around influenced me in this way, and I didn't even realize it, to where it was my sense of humor to make fun of others on the internet and even in person behind their backs. My point is that this is so common and normalized in society today, and it's something I want you to think about for yourself. Okay, so a few months ago, we had a motivational speaker come in to speak to us, and she talked about the lowest of the lows, and it was an absolutely amazing experience. So that's actually where I first heard the quote, hurt people. And I think I realized how many people in the room were hurt emotionally that day. At least 2/3 of the room. And I think this was one of the most mind-blowing phenomenons I'd ever experienced. But as she talked more, the audience proved her point more. She discussed more and more about her struggles, even with suicide. And, I could hear people making light of this and joking. And, even as they were joking, I could still hear tones of uncertainty in their voices, almost as if they were trying to deny for themselves the seriousness of what she was saying. Almost as if they were trying to deny that they had felt this pain for themselves before. And, there was actually this moment where she was saying something about suicide, and I could hear some boy behind me say, "She should have done it." And I was appalled because people laughed. And I literally turned around because I want you to visualize that happy person again, and try thinking of her next to this crusty, dusty, musty, rusty little boy who was sitting behind me. Did that joke seem funny anymore? When you realize that if he was happy in his life, that thought, it wouldn't have even popped up into his head in the first place. And many people, when they say things like this, they aren't okay. Even if it's chill and they brush it off. I think the problem with our generation is that we don't realize where this is stemming from, and we honestly don't want to realize it. We kind of convert everything into humor, and it's honestly destroying people and our potential. After the assembly, there were so many people who were mocking the speaker, saying that she had too much energy, that it got cringy. These are people who will never experience true happiness unless they let this concept go. And it's not even just the children, it's not even just the students, it was the staff too. The staff was saying they had too much enthusiasm. It's a crime to be happy, to talk loud and proud, and to emit confidence and passion in what you're saying. I wanted to tell this story because I think it's really important that people realize the exterior that people put up is all a facade. I mean, we're in high school, right? The population of broken people is booming here. The amount of young teens who are insecure in their own skin, and the amount of teachers I learned that day that subconsciously covered up by projecting that on others, making others feel like they have to cover up who they are, tone down their personality, and not be weird. In life, it's really all just a costume party, and it's found shameful to show up with your bare face. So I started off talking about mindset, and soon I spiraled off into talking about the concept of cringe and secondhand embarrassment and where it stems from. But you see, this all ties back into your mindset. What do you think to yourself when these things happen? When you see someone happy, expressing it boldly, or when you see someone filming themselves in public, do you think, or what are they doing? Or do you admire them, saying, "Oh my gosh, I love their confidence, and I hope to work towards being able to express myself that carefree too"? After all, those girls people make fun of on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, they're the ones making millions. And maybe money isn't the only thing that they're gaining. Something else I've been thinking about that I have not heard many people talk about is thinking in general, acknowledging your presence and your thoughts, because I'm going to be so for real right now. Before I started getting into self-care, my head was empty. I wouldn't think when doing things, and if I was thinking, it wouldn't be about myself. It would be me judging others, "Oh my gosh, your hair is so oily," or ridiculous things like that. And it's so weird to think back on now, because ever since I got into self-care, I've got this huge boost of self-awareness, and I actively have dialogue in my head talking to myself. And once again, this has improved my life so much and has made me more present. If this is something you struggle with too, just start with acknowledging yourself and think about what you're looking forward to, or what you can improve on, recent achievements. Basically just romanticize your life and, just use your brain and internal dialogue. So this next thing, it also ties into mindset, and this is how you view yourself. And I want you to actually get a piece of paper right now. Get up, find one, or pull up your notes app. And now write down 3 adjectives on how you want to view yourself. Now this could be, for example, determined, magnetic, and enthusiastic. Now write down what these mean to you and how this will be implemented into your life. In 2024, I want to be magnetic, where people will naturally gravitate towards me. Because for me, I'm a big extrovert, so I want people to feel like they want to talk to me and socialize. Now really envision yourself as this person. If you've been on the self-care side of social media, you might have heard the term best version of yourself. And this is basically how you would be if you were essentially perfect. And I say this with quotes because we're human beings and we'll never be perfect, obviously. But your best version of yourself is the you that you are working towards and striving to become this year. She's the you who doesn't procrastinate on her assignments. The you that works out every day. Now, with these words in your head, start to visualize yourself as this person. And when I said to write down how you want to see yourself as, this doesn't necessarily have to be just adjectives. This could be anything, goals and just things in general that you've been working for, that you finally accomplished. Do you have the new house you've been dreaming of? A GPA? Are you doing well in that one subject? Now, something important that you have to do along with these is when you're writing it down, what you want to be like, it's also important that you write down what it would look like in your life so you can clearly envision it. It doesn't have to be lengthy, but at least have an idea of what this could look like in your life so you're able to clearly vision it. If you're someone who is working on trying to change your mindset into a more positive one, this could look like having someone cancel plans on you, but being able to be excited nonetheless, because you know that that time with yourself is also valuable and something to look forward to. Changing up your style is another one, and even as simple as seeing yourself in a hairstyle that you're afraid to wear. Now that you have decided who you want to be, embody it. That girl you want to be, you're her now. Get on that mindset. By doing this, you're going to naturally feel compelled to embody those traits that she would do. Feeling unmotivated to do your homework? That's too bad, because you know who I am right now? The best version of myself. And what she would do is say that I'm privileged to be able to learn, and there are other young girls out there my age who would be over the moon to be able to experience and have access to the education I get. Knowledge is power. Feeling unconfident in a room full of people? The best version of yourself is full of confidence and charm. She would walk into that room no matter if she feels unqualified, disliked, or out of place, because she knows her worth and her reason for being there. When you're able to refer back to the best version of yourself, you're slowly going to start becoming who she is. It can help you realize your motives for doing certain things, like, do I really want to go to that social event, or am I seeking validation for that group of people? In a snap, you're going to be reminded of who you are and make the right decisions. Okay, so now that I've talked about mindset and how to change the way you perceive daily life, the next big thing to consider applying is taking pictures. Now, it's very common to come across people who do not like taking pictures, and I truly believe that if everyone in this world had confidence in themselves and truly loved their style and aesthetic, pictures, they wouldn't be a problem. And I actually used to be one of those people who didn't like pictures. But once I developed my style and started to love myself, pictures became an everyday thing. Now listen to me carefully, okay? Pictures are one of the biggest forms of romanticization, whether you are ready to hear it or not. Those Pinterest boards, the mood boards, scrapbooks, those are all pictures and really help you to visualize what you want your life to look like. You know, you could take pictures anywhere of anything. Like, take pictures when you're wearing a cute outfit, when you're in school with your friends, when you're out somewhere, when there's a beautiful sunset outside. Take pictures with pretty filters, with funny filters in public places. Once you become comfortable with this, you'll become comfortable with yourself. Once you're obsessed with your lifestyle, you will be obsessed with taking pictures of all of it. And this works vice versa too. And I think for me, the biggest thing I'm able to romanticize in my life is that I go to a rich American high school. And this is probably something that not many kids my age will be thinking about, but was actually something that I was able to realize and start romanticizing when looking through my pictures. And I started taking pictures of my everyday life in 8th grade. And the amount of serotonin I get from looking back at them is insane. Like, whenever I need motivation, I'm able to scroll back through those memories on Snapchat and reflect on how I was doing in that time of my life. And it gives me such joy that through those pictures, I was able to really appreciate my life and these small moments. And it helped me live with no regrets. And I was able to find these pictures that I really found myself in, where I was thriving. And I'm super excited to scrapbook these memories one day and look back on them in a few months. Preserving your everyday memories and pictures is like the most satisfying thing, and make sure you don't forget these moments. Having memories to look back on adds so much value to romanticize life. Alongside these pictures, journaling is another game changer. Journaling actually changed my life and has given me a higher level of introspectiveness through this. When you're journaling, there are no rules and it works differently for everyone. Usually people will follow a guide of writing about their day and their emotions and how they feel, but like I said, it's something that's malleable and you can fit to your needs. There are a plethora of various resources you can find online, like journal prompts, but it's great to just write whatever you feel like writing. For me, it's another essential part of feeling like the main character, and every day I'll write about what I did during each of my classes at school, fun social interactions, and projects I'm working on. When I look at these alongside my countless memories on Snapchat, it's so fulfilling, and I can't stress enough how much doing this every day changed my life. It can be pretty difficult because as a sophomore in high school, it's hard to find time for myself, but after completing my journal entries anyways, I feel so refreshed, and I know that future me is going to appreciate it a lot. Like, just imagine in 20 years being able to be like, I wonder what I did on January 16th, 2022, and then I would just be able to flip back and find an extensive description of what I did that day. And something crucial I should mention too is that you don't need to journal in a notebook or on paper. I actually struggled with this a lot when I first started, and it felt tedious for me because my hand would start cramping after a while, because I would write a lot, and I didn't find it as motivating. Now, a lot of people enjoy and feel more motivated to journal on paper, but if you're like me, then I suggest downloading the app Finch, and this is actually a self-care app that I've been using for over 300 days now, and it's my favorite app ever, and is what I use to journal on. Technically, it's not made for the long entries I put in, but I still do it anyways, and it will highlight keywords I use in cute colors like pink, yellow, blue, and purple, and all leading back to main categories when you click on the words like people and activities. Now, I actually don't have a laptop that's not connected to my school, but if you do, then I recommend using Google Docs, because it'll be much easier to type and you'll be less likely to get hand cramps, while it still be super accessible too. Okay, so I have discussed all 4 points I wanted to go over today. This is my first time creating a podcast episode, you guys, so I hope that I was able to entertain you throughout and inform you well on a bunch of concepts you might have never even thought about before. Mindset, how you view yourself, pictures, and journaling. That's what I want you to focus on now in 2024. These are key ideas that I took time to work on over the past few months and has helped me to get to where I am today. Since you stuck around to the end, there is one last thing I want to talk to you about. So this year, do something. Don't just think about something and never commit, just start something. A podcast, a social media account, a website, a blog, a business. Create a game. Write a story. If you're into art, create a huge drawing out of your comfort zone. Do something by the end of 2024 that you'll be proud of. Start the year strong. You only live once. Live a life that you'll be able to say you were overjoyed with. Okay, now I gave you a little homework assignments. Throughout this episode, I told you to write down your future self, 3 adjectives that you would use to describe her, and to also start off the year with a banger, with a goal or a project to just start on and see through to the end. I want to thank you so much for listening. I hope my advice helped you out and motivated you to become the best version of yourself this year and to make a difference. Thank you again, and if you were interested in episodes like this, I suggest sticking around on this journey, and for bite-sized tips and motivation to check out my Pinterest Tanny's Corner on Lanyongism. And I want to apologize for the audio quality. I hope that it's good enough, because I am recording this in a closet on my phone right now. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you around.